Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, April 19th. A lot going on in the world of weather. In fact, I wanted to start off with a couple of places around the world where there's some very interesting things going on in weather and climate before we get to the local weather situation. First of all, a widespread cold wave has hit Europe, and this is a sustained cold wave that will last for the next 10 days to 2 weeks or so. This is the current temperature anomaly map from last night's European model run for the continent of Europe. All these areas in purple and dark blue are some 10 to 15 degrees Celsius below normal for this time of the year. Again, this is for Wednesday here. If we move forward here, we see that this cold air outbreak, these are 24-hour increments, is just replaced by another one. And now as we get into the weekend, just another cold air outbreak arrives in the European continent, and this is Sunday morning. In some areas, in the higher elevations, the Alps, for example, of Central Europe will receive up to a couple of feet of snow over the next week to 10 days or so. They'll have good skiing well into the month of May, and even some accumulating snow all the way down into southern Europe. Places like southern Italy, southern Greece, and Turkey will get some accumulating snow over the next couple of weeks. So a very interesting cold wave hitting Europe. Sometimes when Europe gets hit with a cold wave, we get cold here in the eastern U.S. Indeed, there are going to be some cold air outbreaks in the northeastern U.S. going forward over the next couple of weeks into the early part of May, but it doesn't look like anything as sustained or widespread as what Europe is currently experiencing. And one other area of interest before we get to the U.S. weather conditions, these are the sea surface temperature anomaly map right now across the world. All of these maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. A couple interesting things I want to point out. We've talked about the beginning of an El Nino in the tropical Pacific, this region right in here. Well, what's going on right now is the Indian Ocean is actually quite noticeably colder than normal here, places west of Australia. And what this tends to do is set up high pressure over the colder than normal waters here over the Indian Ocean. At the same time, some warmer waters, warmer than normal sea surface temperatures exist in the central part of the Pacific. That tends to form low pressure here, and let's draw this pressure pattern once again here. So high pressure associated with the colder than normal water conditions over the Indian Ocean, and low pressure over the central Pacific. What this tends to do is air flows from high pressure to low pressure in this fashion. Normally we have trade winds coming from the east to the west across the equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean. So with this kind of a pressure pattern setting up, these kind of winds would offset the normal trade winds out of the east. And when winds blow in this fashion here from the east to the west, that creates some upwelling, which pulls up some colder air from down below the surface. And when you diminish the trade winds, you don't get that kind of upwelling. And the bottom line is, with the diminishing of the trade winds because of this pressure pattern setting up, warm conditions will start to form here over the next 10 days or so. In other words, this kind of a pressure pattern here with high pressure here and low pressure here will tend to favor the development of El Nino right here in the equatorial part of the Pacific. So we'll monitor that over the next several weeks. Well, let's now get back to the U.S. because we have some interesting weather of our own. Southeasterly winds have formed here in the Mid-Atlantic region overnight as high pressure pushes off the northeast coastline. A deck of clouds is the result, and there are some scattered showers here. We see this area right here across the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region. Certainly some occasional showers today in D.C., maybe even a touch of light rain or drizzle in Philadelphia and New York City. A cloudy, noticeably cooler day today. Also some showers down here in the Tennessee Valley can affect areas like Huntsville, Alabama this afternoon with some scattered showers and storms, maybe some gusty winds and some brief heavy rainfall down across places like northern Alabama. Lots of precipitation out here in the center part of the nation, and we have a cool rainy event here headed for the mid-Atlantic region during the latter part of the weekend, with quite a strong low pressure area that will pull out of the south central U.S. and then head towards the northeast U.S. this weekend. Well, let's walk through the forecast map from last night's zero-Z GFS model run for the next several days. Again, high pressure has pushed off the northeast U.S. coastline. A southeasterly flow of air has formed in the lower part of the atmosphere. That has helped to moisten the lower levels of the atmosphere. We have a cloud deck over Philadelphia right now, and D.C. and New York City, and there are occasional showers likely for the D.C. metro region, and maybe some occasional light rain or drizzle in Philadelphia and New York City later on today. Certainly a much cooler day than recent days with those southeasterly low-level winds. High temperatures will actually struggle to reach 60 degrees in many parts of the I-95 corridor. Those scattered showers reach all the way down into the Tennessee Valley, and again, there can be some showers and thunderstorms in places like northern Alabama this afternoon. Some of those can produce some gusty winds and some brief downpours. Let's now move forward here in 6-hour increments. Hereby later on this afternoon, again, under a deck of clouds with occasional light rain or drizzle possible in the I-95 corridor. More cool high pressure situated up across southeastern Canada. Now here's the forecast map for tomorrow morning. By this time, low-level winds will shift to the southwest across the eastern part of the Ohio Valley, and as the day progresses, those winds will translate into the Mid-Atlantic's I-95 corridor. Will become much warmer tomorrow afternoon. Again, high temperatures struggling to reach 60 degrees in parts of the I-95 corridor this afternoon, but tomorrow afternoon could jump to 80 degrees in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, perhaps 70 degrees in New York City. Can be a shower or thunderstorm associated with this warm-up Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. Friday also stays quite warm, 80 degrees possible in the I-95 corridor, maybe a shower or thunderstorm. Let's keep moving forward. This is now tomorrow night, and here we go with a frontal system here. Certainly some showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow night in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. By Friday, that breaks up somewhat. Still the lingering chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. It stays quite warm. This is now the Friday evening forecast map. Strong low pressure starting to form here across the south central U.S. by Friday night, and this will play a big role in the weekend weather conditions here, not only in the southeast U.S. with the threat for severe weather, places like Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi come Saturday, but this pulls up to the north and east and produces a cool rainy event here in the I-95 corridor region of D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. This is Saturday morning. Primarily a dry start to the day in the I-95 corridor, but by the end of the day, those showers start to move into the D.C. metro region. This is the Saturday evening forecast map. Strong low pressure dragging a strong cold front across the southeast U.S. Again, some severe weather possibilities on Saturday in this part of the nation, and then a cool rainy event headed for the D.C., Philly, New York City metro regions for Saturday night and Sunday. This is now Sunday afternoon. Still rain across the I-95 corridor, starting to dry out perhaps in the western part of the southeastern U.S. And here we go. Low pressure moves right over the southern part of New Jersey by Sunday night. Again, a cool rain event coming for D.C., Philadelphia, New York City Saturday night, Sunday, perhaps even into Sunday night here. Finally, by Monday morning, that pulls off the coast. Still kind of cloudy, maybe a little bit on the cool side on Monday, with more high pressure to the north, assuring cooler than normal conditions going into the early part of next week. So a lot of weather going on, not only here in the eastern U.S., but around the world as well. That's it for now. Stay tuned to Vencore Weather for updates later today and tomorrow as well. I'm meteorologist